Hello and welcome to this life-changing audiobook, How to Let Go of the Pain. I'm so glad you're here. This book is a gentle, powerful guide to help you heal from the wounds of your past, release the hurt that's been holding you back, and rediscover the peace and strength within you. Whether you're grieving, battling heartbreak, overcoming trauma, or simply trying to find peace again, this journey was created just for you. Each chapter is filled with honest stories, deep wisdom, and practical steps to help you let go, heal, and live free every single day. So, find a quiet space, take a deep breath, and allow these words to speak to your heart. You deserve healing. You deserve freedom. And you are not alone. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more motivational content weekly. Now, let's begin this journey together. Chapter 1. The Weight You Carry, Understanding Emotional Pain. We all carry something. Some carry it quietly, buried deep in their hearts like a secret locked away. Others carry it loudly, in their tone, in their decisions, in the way they snap at strangers or shut down around those who love them. Pain has a way of shaping us, whether we admit it or not. And yet, so many of us walk through life without even knowing the full weight we carry. Some wounds are obvious. They come from betrayal, heartbreak, abandonment, or loss. But some are hidden. They're not bruises on the skin, they're silent hurts that build over years, disappointments that pile up like bricks on the soul until you can barely breathe under the weight of it all. This chapter is about recognizing that weight. It's about understanding what you're carrying, and why. The nature of emotional pain. Emotional pain is not as easily recognized as physical pain. You can break a leg and someone will rush you to the hospital. But when your heart is broken, when someone you trusted lied, left, or hurt you, there's no cast for that. No easy diagnosis. Instead, we learn to hide it. Society teaches us to move on, to be strong, to get over it. And so we bury it. We push it down, hoping that if we ignore it long enough, it will disappear. But pain doesn't work like that. Ignored pain doesn't vanish, it festers. It turns into anger, bitterness, anxiety, depression, and even physical illness. It becomes part of your story, quietly influencing everything you do. The first step in letting go of the pain is understanding what it is and how it shows up in your life. How we carry pain. Pain has many disguises. Anger, that quick temper. That impatience. It's often pain speaking first. Withdrawal, you stop trusting, stop opening up, because you've been hurt before. Control, you micromanage everything because your past taught you that losing control leads to pain. Perfectionism, you strive to be flawless because deep down you believe being good enough might finally protect you from rejection. People-pleasing, you say yes when you want to say no because you're afraid of being abandoned or disliked. And sometimes, pain manifests as numbness. You don't feel anything anymore. You walk through life on autopilot, smiling when you're supposed to, but feeling disconnected on the inside. You've learned to shut off your emotions because that was the only way to survive. But surviving isn't the same as living. Recognizing what you're carrying. Ask yourself these questions honestly. What am I still angry about? Who hurt me that I haven't truly forgiven? What memory do I try to avoid? When was the last time I cried and let it out? What pain do I pretend doesn't exist? Often, the hardest part is admitting we're still hurt. But here's the truth, acknowledging your pain is not weakness. It's courage. It's the beginning of your healing journey. And no journey ever starts without honesty. Take a moment, right now, and try to name at least one thing you're still carrying. Maybe it was the way a parent spoke to you. Maybe it was a friend who betrayed your trust. Maybe it was a time you failed, and you've never forgiven yourself for it. Write it down. No filter. No judgment. This is your starting point. Why we hold on to pain. It seems strange, doesn't it? Why would anyone want to hold on to pain? But the truth is, pain can become familiar. If you've been hurt for a long time, it can start to feel like part of your identity. You might believe that your pain makes you who you are. Or maybe you're afraid that if you let it go, you'll have nothing left. You won't know who you are without it. Sometimes we hold on to pain because we want justice. We believe that by holding on to our anger or our sadness, we're keeping the memory of what happened alive. We think it protects us or punishes those who wronged us. But in reality, it's like drinking poison and hoping the other person suffers. Letting go of pain doesn't mean what happened was okay. It means you are choosing peace over punishment. You're choosing freedom over the need to always be right. You're choosing to move forward rather than stay stuck in what can't be changed. The pain of self-betrayal. There is another kind of pain that often goes unnoticed, the pain we inflict on ourselves. This is the pain of self-betrayal. Staying in toxic relationships because we're afraid to be alone. Saying yes when our hearts are screaming no. Putting ourselves last, again and again, thinking it makes us good people. Believing we're unworthy of love, success, or happiness. These small betrayals add up. Over time, we begin to resent ourselves. And that self-hate becomes another layer of pain we carry. But here's the good news, if you were powerful enough to hurt yourself, you're powerful enough to heal yourself. Self-forgiveness is one of the most important pieces of letting go. We'll talk more about that in later chapters, but for now, know this, you are not your mistakes. Even from yourself. The physical toll of emotional pain. Did you know that emotional pain can affect your body? Studies show that chronic emotional stress contributes to headaches, digestive issues, muscle pain, heart problems, and insomnia. When you carry unresolved emotions, your body reacts as if you're under constant threat. Your nervous system never gets a break. Maybe you've been feeling tired all the time. Maybe your body aches, or you can't sleep well at night. Before you reach for another energy drink or painkiller, pause and ask, what am I really holding in? Your body might be trying to speak the words your heart has silenced. You are not alone. One of the lies pain tells us is that we're alone. That no one understands. That no one else has gone through what we've been through. But that's not true. Every single person on this planet has carried pain. Some worse, some less, but pain is universal. What changes from person to person is how we deal with it. Some talk. Some cry. Some scream. Some pray. Some write. Some isolate. Some break. But we all feel it. You are not weak because you are hurting. You are human. And the fact that you're still standing, still reading, still hoping, that means something. The first act of healing, awareness. Healing begins with awareness. You can't let go of what you haven't acknowledged. So take time this week to sit with your pain. Don't run from it. Don't drown it with distractions. Just sit with it. Like a friend you've avoided for too long. Ask it what it wants to teach you. Ask it what it needs. Ask it what it's costing you. Get quiet. Journal your thoughts. Speak them out loud if you must. The goal is not to fix it all at once. The goal is to see it for what it is, and for what it's doing to you. Pain that is not understood will keep repeating itself. But pain that is acknowledged can be transformed. Your journey begins here. Letting go of pain is not a one-time event. It's a journey. Some days it will feel like you've finally moved on. Other days it might hit you all over again. That's normal. Healing isn't linear. It's a process, one that requires patience, grace, and honesty. This book is your companion on that journey. It won't promise you quick fixes or magic words. But it will walk with you, step by step, through the layers of hurt, until you see the light again. Because there is light. There is freedom. There is life beyond the pain. And it begins with this chapter. So take a deep breath. You're not broken. You're just healing. And healing is always possible. Chapter 2, Triggers and Wounds, Where the Pain Began. Have you ever found yourself overreacting to something small? A harmless comment, a delayed response, a missed call, or even a facial expression, and suddenly, you're drowning in anger, sadness, or shame. That intense reaction isn't about that moment. It's a trigger. And every trigger has a story. Every emotional outburst, every shutdown, every wall we build has a root, a wound that hasn't fully healed. To let go of pain, we must go to its beginning. We must trace it back to the wound that birthed it. What is a trigger? A trigger is an emotional response to something in your present that reminds your subconscious of a painful experience from your past. It's not always logical or obvious. It can be as subtle as a tone of voice or as sharp as a betrayal. Imagine a scar on your skin. When touched, you flinch, not because the touch is painful now, but because it reminds your body of the original injury. Emotional triggers work the same way. Someone saying, "You're too sensitive," may not seem like much, but if you grew up in an environment where your feelings were constantly invalidated, that comment rips open an old wound. Triggers are not weaknesses. They are signals, calls from your soul pointing toward an unresolved pain begging for attention. Childhood, the first wounding ground. For many people, pain begins early. Childhood is supposed to be a time of safety, growth, and love. But not everyone experiences that. Some of us were emotionally neglected, criticized, compared, or even abused. Some grew up too fast, carrying responsibilities no child should bear. Others lacked affection, were rarely affirmed, or always felt like they had to earn love. Here are some common childhood wounds that shape adult pain. The wound of abandonment, feeling left behind emotionally or physically. The wound of rejection, being told or shown you're not good enough. The wound of betrayal, trust broken by a caregiver or loved one. The wound of neglect, your needs, emotional, physical, or both, were not met. The wound of comparison, always being told someone else was better than you. These wounds don't just disappear with age. They grow with us. They shape how we see the world, how we connect with others, and most importantly, how we see ourselves. The pain of firsts. There's a saying. You always remember your first heartbreak. That's because firsts leave deep imprints. The first time someone you loved left without explanation. The first time you failed publicly and felt ashamed. The first time someone lied to you and broke your trust. The first time you were told you weren't enough. These moments often go unhealed. We move on too quickly, pretending we're fine. But the body remembers. The heart remembers. And eventually, something or someone will trigger that buried memory. You might not even connect the dots, but your emotions will respond like it's happening all over again. Healing begins when we allow ourselves to revisit these first wounds, not to reopen them but to finally clean them out and give them the care they never received. Your personal pain map. Everyone has a personal pain map, a history of events, relationships, words, and experiences that left a mark. To move forward, we must learn to read that map. Take some time with these reflective. 1. What memory do I avoid because it's too painful? 2. Who was the first person to make me feel unwanted or unworthy? 3. What repeated experiences in my life seem to follow the same painful pattern? 4. What are the top 3 moments in my life that changed how I see myself? 5. When did I start believing I wasn't good enough? 6. What does love feel like to me, and why? You might feel emotional answering these. That's okay. That means you're tapping into something real. That's how healing starts. Patterns are the clues. If you notice a pattern in your emotional pain, it's not a coincidence. Life tends to repeat lessons until we learn from them. Do you keep choosing emotionally unavailable people? Do you often feel misunderstood, no matter the relationship? Do you push people away before they can hurt you? Do you stay in toxic environments longer than you should? These are not flaws, they're patterns. And patterns come from wounds. Until you recognize them, they will silently control your life. Here's the good news: when you trace a pattern to its origin, you take back your power. The pain no longer controls you. You begin to rewrite the story. Not all wounds come from others. It's easy to blame others, and sometimes, they truly are responsible for your pain. But there are also wounds we inflict on ourselves. Staying silent when we should have spoken. Not standing up for ourselves. Settling for less because we were scared to be alone. Abandoning our dreams to please others. These are painful truths, but they are also empowering. Because if we played a role in our pain, we can also play a role in our healing. Take ownership, not blame. Ownership gives you the key to freedom. The role of shame in hidden pain. One of the reasons pain hides so deeply is because it often partners with shame. Shame says, "It was your fault. You should have known better. You deserved it. You're broken." Unlike guilt, which says, "I did something bad," shame says, "I am bad." Shame convinces us to bury pain instead of face it. It tells us no one will understand. But here's the truth: shame dies when it is spoken. When you name the pain and bring it into the light, its power starts to fade. So don't hide. Speak. Journal. Cry. Share with someone safe. You don't have to suffer in silence anymore. Steps to begin healing old wounds. 1. Name the wound. Be specific. Instead of saying, "I have trust issues," say, "I find it hard to trust because my father promised he'd always be there and then left." 2. Validate your experience. Don't downplay your pain. You don't need a tragedy to be allowed to hurt. Whatever hurt you is valid. 3. Feel it fully. Allow yourself to feel the grief, anger, sadness. Emotions that are felt completely don't stay stuck. 4. Talk or write about it. Journaling or speaking to a therapist, coach, or trusted friend can help release the emotions tied to the wound. 5. Reconnect with your younger self, that child or younger version of you who got hurt. Speak to them. Comfort them. Remind them they are not alone anymore. 6. Choose to heal. Make a conscious decision to heal. This doesn't mean you'll never feel pain again, but it means you're committed to your freedom. Freedom is possible. Many people live their entire lives reacting to old pain. They spend years trying to outrun it, numb it, avoid it. But pain doesn't leave just because we ignore it. It waits. It shows up in our relationships, our jobs, our parenting, our choices. But it doesn't have to be that way. You are not doomed to live in pain. You are not your wound. You are not your worst moment. You are not broken beyond repair. Every day is a new chance to begin again. And now that you've identified the root, the real work of healing can begin. A simple exercise for this week: your pain timeline. Take a piece of paper and draw a straight line across it. Mark down the major painful events in your life chronologically. Childhood, teenage years, adulthood. Next to each, write a few words about how it made you feel and how you think it affects you now. This is your pain timeline. It will help you see how connected your present reactions are to past events. When you're ready, choose one of those events to work through more deeply in the next chapters. Remember, you don't need to rush. Healing is not a race. You deserve to heal. You might feel like you're just uncovering things you thought were long gone. That's okay. That means you're finally facing what was left in the dark. And here's the most important thing to know. You are allowed to heal from things you didn't cause. Even if someone else hurt you. Even if you've made mistakes. Even if you feel broken. You are still worthy of healing. The pain didn't start with you, but the healing can. So take a deep breath, and gently tell yourself. I am safe now. I am seen. I am strong enough to go back so I can move forward. You are not alone. Let's continue walking this path, together. Chapter 3, Denial, Anger, and the Illusion of Strength. Pain is a clever thing. It doesn't always appear as tears or sorrow. Sometimes it wears disguises, like laughter that's too loud, silence that's too long, or a smile that's too perfect. Sometimes, pain pretends to be strength. It makes us believe that if we just hold it in and act unaffected, we've won. But true strength is not the absence of emotion. True strength is facing our pain, feeling it, learning from it, and then letting it go. In this chapter, we will explore 3 powerful emotional masks people wear to avoid pain: denial, anger, and the illusion of strength. And we'll discover how peeling them away is necessary for real healing to begin. The comfort of denial. Denial is often the first shield we use against pain. It's easier to say, "It didn't really bother me. I've moved on. It's in the past. It wasn't that deep." But deep down, you know. You feel the ache in moments of stillness. You notice the lump in your throat when a similar situation comes up. You feel the tension in your chest, the anxiety in your stomach, or the way you shut down when certain topics arise. Denial can be a coping mechanism, and sometimes, it's necessary for survival. But what was once protection can become a prison. The longer we deny, the longer we delay healing. Denial whispers comfort, but truth shouts freedom. Why we choose denial. We deny our pain for many reasons. 1. Fear of breaking down. We're afraid that if we start crying, we'll never stop. That if we truly feel the weight of our hurt, it'll crush us. 2. Fear of judgment. We worry about what others will think. Will they believe we're weak? Too sensitive? Overreacting? 3. Fear of change. Sometimes acknowledging pain means we'll have to make hard decisions, leave a toxic relationship, confront a loved one, or set uncomfortable boundaries. 4. Fear of truth. Admitting the truth may shatter the illusion we've built about someone or something. We don't want to face the reality that someone we loved hurt us deeply. But holding on to denial only prolongs the suffering. The slow poison of repressed pain. What we don't deal with doesn't disappear. It hides. It leaks into our conversations, our relationships, our decisions. A denied betrayal turns into trust issues. A denied loss turns into emotional numbness. A denied hurt turns into overreactions and defensiveness. Eventually, our bodies and minds will demand we face it, through anxiety, depression, or breakdowns. Emotional pain, when repressed, becomes illness. Silence becomes suffering. You deserve to live free. And that freedom starts with honesty. From denial to acknowledgement. Here are small but powerful steps to begin facing what you've been avoiding. Write the truth you're afraid to say out loud. Don't worry about grammar or sounding correct. Just write what your heart knows. Speak to yourself as a friend. Imagine someone you love going through what you've experienced. Would you tell them to just move on? Or would you say, "I see your pain, and it's valid"? Let your body speak. Notice where you feel tension, tightness, or discomfort. These are often clues to where you've stored pain. Give yourself permission to feel. You don't have to fix it today. Just feel. Let your emotions rise without judgment. The fire of anger. Anger is another mask pain wears. It's loud. It's sharp. It demands attention. And sometimes, it feels powerful. When we're angry, we feel in control. We feel strong. We don't feel helpless anymore. But often, beneath the anger is something far more vulnerable. Hurt. Fear. Abandonment. Disrespect. Disappointment. Anger is easier to express than sadness. It's more socially acceptable than crying or admitting fear. But holding on to anger as a shield only burns you from the inside. When anger feels justified. Sometimes, anger is justified. You were wronged. You were hurt. Someone crossed a line. But here's the question, how long do you want to carry it? You can be right and still suffer. You can be angry and still stay stuck. You can wait for an apology that may never come, and while you wait, your joy, your peace, and your present suffer. Anger doesn't punish those who hurt you. It punishes you. Healthy expression of anger. You don't have to suppress your anger to heal, you just have to learn how to process it in a way that brings freedom, not more pain. Try these. Write an angry letter, and don't send it. Let your emotions out fully. Scream into a pillow, punch it, cry it out. Let your body release the tension. Talk it out with someone safe, like a therapist or trusted friend. Create something, art, music, poetry. Use your anger to birth something beautiful. Move your body, go for a run, take a kickboxing class, dance. Let the energy move through you. Anger can be fuel, but only if you control it. If it controls you, it becomes a chain. The illusion of strength. In many cultures, strength is defined as never crying, never showing weakness, always being in control, acting like you don't care. But this is not strength. This is survival. And survival is not the same as thriving. Real strength is feeling deeply and still choosing peace. Asking for help when you need it. Being honest about your pain. Saying no when something hurts you. Setting boundaries to protect your healing. You don't have to carry everything alone to prove you're strong. Cultural and generational pressure. Many of us were raised in environments that told us to toughen up, stop crying, or deal with it. Especially in homes where vulnerability was not allowed or punished, we learned to suppress. Maybe your caregivers didn't know how to express emotion. Maybe you were punished for speaking up. Maybe no one validated your feelings. So now, as an adult, you're still wearing that armor. But it's heavy, isn't it? You don't have to carry your parents' or society's idea of strength. You can choose your own definition, one that allows softness, rest, tears, and truth. Choosing healing over hiding. You've been strong for so long. You've held it together, kept it quiet, kept moving. But now is the time to choose something different. Healing is a brave choice. It means facing what you've buried. It means letting yourself break open, so you can rebuild. It means dropping the mask of, I'm fine, and saying, I need to feel this so I can finally heal this. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. Simple practices to drop the masks. 1. Practice saying, I'm not okay, and let that be enough. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Just honesty with yourself. 2. Give your emotions a name. Say, I feel hurt. I feel abandoned. I feel exhausted. Naming emotion gives you power over it. 3. Spend time in quiet. Without distractions, your emotions will speak. Listen. 4. Remind yourself, strength is not silence. Strength is truth. 5. Ask yourself daily, what emotion am I pretending not to feel today? Why? You can put the armor down now. You've carried your pain like a warrior carries a shield. You've learned how to survive the hardest days. But now, the war is over. The battle is no longer outside of you. The enemy is no longer that person, that moment, or that event. It's the unhealed wound inside of you. And you don't need armor for healing. You need softness. You need truth. You need love. Let yourself be human. Let yourself break a little. Let yourself cry. Let yourself ask for help. You've already proven you're strong. Now prove that you're free. Chapter 4, Forgiveness isn't forgetting, but it sets you free. Forgiveness. It's one of the hardest words in healing. One of the most misunderstood. One of the most resisted. It feels unfair, doesn't it? Why should you forgive the person who lied to you, abandoned you, humiliated you, broke your trust, or hurt you in ways you can't even describe? They never apologized. They don't even care. They moved on. And you're the one left with the weight of what they did. Forgiveness doesn't feel right. It feels like weakness. Like letting them off the hook. Like erasing what they did. But real forgiveness is none of that. It is not pretending it didn't happen. It is not saying it was okay. It is not giving them permission to hurt you again. Forgiveness is about you. Your peace. Your freedom. Your healing. And today, we're going to talk about what forgiveness really means, why it matters, and how to begin, even if you never thought you could. What forgiveness is not. Before we can embrace forgiveness, we must strip away the myths that make us reject it. 1. Forgiveness is not forgetting. You will not erase the memory. Forgiveness doesn't delete the past. It simply removes the power it holds over your present and future. 2. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. Forgiving someone doesn't mean you have to let them back into your life. Some people don't deserve access to you again, and that's okay. 3. Forgiveness is not weakness. It's not saying, I'm okay with what happened. It's saying, I won't let what happened control me anymore. 4. Forgiveness is not instant. It's a process. Some days you'll feel peace. Other days the pain resurfaces. That doesn't mean you haven't forgiven, it means you're still healing. Why we struggle to forgive. Forgiveness is hard because we want justice. We want an apology. We want validation that what happened wasn't okay. We're afraid that if we forgive, it will mean our pain didn't matter. But here's the truth, forgiveness does not depend on the other person. You can forgive someone who's never said sorry. You can forgive someone who doesn't think they did anything wrong. Forgiveness is not about them. It's about you. It's about refusing to carry the poison of resentment in your body, your heart, and your mind any longer. It's about choosing freedom over bitterness. Bitterness is a prison. It keeps you locked in the moment you were hurt. Every time you replay the betrayal, the insult, the rejection, it's like reliving it all over again. Your body feels it. Your heart aches again. Your mind spirals. You lose sleep. You lose peace. You lose joy. And the worst part? The person who hurt you probably isn't even thinking about it anymore. Freedom. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks that prison. It doesn't erase the pain, but it releases your ownership of it. It says, yes, it hurt. Yes, it was wrong. But I choose peace now. I choose me. The pain beneath unforgiveness. At the root of unforgiveness is often something deeper. The fear that if you let go, you'll forget how deeply you were hurt. The need to protect yourself from ever being hurt again. The fear that healing means pretending it never happened. The belief that they don't deserve your grace. But ask yourself this, do you deserve to keep suffering because of someone else's actions? Because that's what unforgiveness does, it ties you to the person who hurt you. It gives them continued power over your life. You don't have to give them that anymore. Forgiving others. Sometimes we struggle to forgive because the pain was personal, deep, and repeated. Maybe someone close to you betrayed you. Maybe they shattered your trust. Maybe they hurt you and acted like it was nothing. Maybe you gave them everything, and they gave you nothing but wounds in return. Let's be honest, it hurts. But let's also be honest about this truth, unforgiveness won't change the past. It only poisons the present. You don't have to understand why they did it. You don't need their apology. You don't need their remorse. All you need is your decision to say, I let this go. Not because they deserve peace, but because I do. Forgiving yourself. Now, let's talk about the hardest person to forgive, you. So many people walk around carrying shame, guilt, and regret for things they said in anger. Choices they made in survival mode. Relationships they stayed in too long. Dreams they didn't chase. Boundaries they didn't set. Red flags they ignored. You might be punishing yourself daily for something that happened years ago. But here's the truth, you are human. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Now you know better. Now you can do better. Holding on to self-blame won't undo the past. But it will rob you of your peace today. Speak these words out loud if you can. I forgive myself. I release the shame. I release the guilt. I am allowed to grow. I am allowed to heal. Steps toward forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't a feeling, it's a choice. A daily choice. And here's how you can begin. 1. Acknowledge the pain. Don't minimize it. Don't downplay it. Say, this hurt me deeply. 2. Identify what you lost. It could be trust, innocence, time, peace, opportunities, or love. Naming your loss validates your grief. 3. Feel it. Cry. Journal. Talk it out. The only way out of pain is through it. 4. Understand the humanity in others. This doesn't mean excusing their actions, but it helps to realize that hurt people hurt people. Their actions say more about them than about you. 5. Make a decision. Say, I choose to release this hurt. I choose peace. 6. Repeat as needed. Forgiveness is not a one-time act. It's a practice. Keep choosing it every time the memory resurfaces. Letters you never send. One healing exercise is writing a letter to the person who hurt you. You don't send it. You write it for you. Include what they did. How it made you feel. What it cost you. What you're releasing now. Then, burn it. Or tear it up. Or throw it away. It's a symbolic act of letting go. Real-life stories of forgiveness. The abandoned child who forgave. A woman named Damilola was left by her father at the age of 8. No calls. No support. Nothing. For years, she hated him. Cried silently every birthday. Until one day, she realized. Her hate wasn't hurting him, it was destroying her joy. So she forgave, not because he asked, but because her heart deserved to be whole again. Today, she lives peacefully, whether he ever apologizes or not. A prayer of release, for all beliefs. I let go of the weight I have carried for too long. I release the anger, the bitterness, the guilt, and the shame. I forgive the one who hurt me, even if they never say sorry. I forgive myself for the mistakes I've made. I choose peace. I choose healing. I choose to be free. Forgiveness is a gift, to yourself. You may never get closure from the people who hurt you. You may never get an apology. But you can give yourself the closure you need. Forgiveness is not weakness. It's not surrender. It's not erasure. It's strength. It's reclaiming your power. It's whispering to your pain, you no longer own me. And it is the most beautiful, powerful step toward letting go of the pain. Chapter 5, Rewriting Your Story, From Victim to Victor. We are all storytellers. Every day, in the way we speak, think, and behave, we're telling stories. Stories about who we are, what we've been through, and what we believe about life, love, trust, and ourselves. Some of those stories are empowering. Others are limiting. Some come from places of healing, while others are born from pain. If you've been hurt deeply, and especially if that pain lasted for years, it's easy to build your life around the identity of a victim. Not because you want pity. Not because you're weak. But because it's the only story your pain ever taught you to tell. This chapter is about changing that. About shifting from saying, "This happened to me," to declaring, "This shaped me, but it will not define me." Because no matter what you've been through, you are not your pain. You are not what they did. You are not the worst thing that happened to you. You are the author of your life. And starting today, you can pick up the pen and write a new chapter. The power of the stories we tell ourselves. Let's start with this truth: your brain believes whatever story you repeat most often. If you tell yourself, "I'll never be happy again. I always get hurt. No one truly loves me. I'm broken beyond repair." Your brain and body start living those truths. You begin to expect pain. You anticipate rejection. You sabotage good things. Not because you're weak, but because you've been wired to protect yourself from disappointment, even if it means never hoping again. But here's the good news: just like stories can be learned, they can also be unlearned. They can be rewritten. And you hold the power to do that. The difference between pain and identity. There's a big difference between saying, "I was hurt," saying, "I am unlovable." One is a fact. The other is a story. Let's look at a few examples. Pain statement. He cheated on me. I'm not enough. They left me. Everyone abandons me. My childhood was painful. I'll never be whole. I failed. I'm a failure. Identity is where the damage lingers, not in what happened, but in what you've come to believe because of it. So the journey begins by separating what happened to you from who you are. Here's how victim and victor mindsets differ. Victim mindset say, "Why did this happen to me? They hurt me. They ruined my life." Victor mindset say, "What can I learn from this? I can choose how I respond. I decide my future. I'm healing, growing, and rising." A victim mindset keeps you bound to the past. A victor mindset uses the past as fuel for the future. And you are not powerless. You've survived. You've endured. You've kept going. That alone is the evidence that you are stronger than the pain that tried to break you. Rewriting your story starts with one question. Who do I want to become, now that I'm healing? Maybe you want to be free from bitterness. Confident again. Loving without fear. Joyful and light. Brave in setting boundaries. Proud of your journey. Whatever your answer, write it down. Because you're not rebuilding the old you, you're becoming someone new. And that person starts with the story you choose to tell today. How to rewrite your storm. Here's a simple but powerful 5-step process to begin rewriting your personal narrative. Step 1. Identify the old story. Ask, what have I been telling myself about my life? What belief has kept me stuck? What labels have I worn? Failure, rejected, damaged, weak. Step 2. Trace the origin. Ask, where did this belief start? Who made me feel this way? What event planted this seed? Step 3. Challenge the belief. Ask, is this belief always true? Have there been moments that prove the opposite? Am I holding on to an outdated version of myself? Step 4. Write a new story. Create a declaration for yourself. Speak it daily. Let it become the new voice in your mind. Step 5. Reinforce it with action. Your new story must be lived. If your new story says you deserve respect, walk away from disrespect. If your new story says you are healing, create habits that support your healing. If your new story says you are growing, celebrate every small win along the way. Let go of the role that keeps you small. Sometimes, pain becomes so familiar that we're afraid to let it go. You may think, who am I without my story of hurt? If I stop being the strong one, will I still be valued? If I don't carry this pain, will I forget how much I've endured? But here's the truth, you can honor your past without being defined by it. You can remember the lessons, the survival, the resilience, without re-identifying with the role of the one who was hurt. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means stepping into who you were always meant to be, before the pain tried to rewrite you. Stories that inspire, from pain to power. The woman who was abused, now heals others. After surviving a toxic relationship, Miriam thought she'd never trust again. But therapy, journaling, and daily affirmations helped her rebuild. Today, she volunteers at shelters, helping other women see that healing is possible. You don't need a platform to turn pain into purpose. You just need the courage to live differently. Speak life into your new story. Here are daily affirmations to begin rewriting your story. I am not my past. I am my progress. My pain may have shaped me, but it will not define me. I choose freedom over fear, love over bitterness, healing over history. Every day I write a better story, one filled with hope, strength, and peace. I am the author now. And my future is bright. You are the author now. Imagine standing at the edge of a page. Behind you, pages filled with tears, hurt, confusion, and survival. But in front of you, blank pages. What will you write? You can carry forward the same old story, same wounds, same fears. Or you can write something new. You can choose joy, softness, laughter, love, peace, purpose. You can say, I'm not who I used to be. I've grown. I've healed. And I'm still healing. The pen is in your hand. The chapter is yours to write. And the next chapter can be the most beautiful one yet. Chapter 6, Learning to Sit with the Pain. Most people run from pain. Some bury it under busyness. Others drown it in distractions, scrolling, shopping, eating, working, drinking, sleeping. Some try to pray it away. Others try to ignore it completely. They smile through the ache. They laugh while breaking inside. But no matter how far or fast you run, pain has a way of catching up. It lives in the silence. It whispers in the stillness. It shows up in your body, in your thoughts, in your dreams. There comes a moment in every healing journey where you must make a difficult but powerful decision. To stop running. To sit with your pain. To feel it, fully, honestly, without numbing or hiding. It's terrifying at first. But it's the only way through. In this chapter, you'll learn why sitting with pain is not weakness, it's wisdom. Why we avoid pain. Pain is uncomfortable. And as humans, we are wired to avoid discomfort. But beyond the physical, emotional pain triggers deep fear. Here's why we avoid it. 1. We fear being overwhelmed. If I allow myself to feel this, I might fall apart and never recover. 2. We were never taught how to feel. Many of us grew up in homes where emotions were ignored, mocked, or punished. 3. We equate pain with weakness. Especially in cultures that prize toughness, showing emotion feels like failure. 4. We're scared of what we'll find. Sitting with pain might reveal truths we've long buried, about who hurt us, how deeply we were affected, or the role we played. 5. We want to be in control. Pain feels unpredictable. Messy. Uncontrollable. But avoiding pain doesn't make it disappear. It makes it louder. More demanding. And over time, more damaging. Pain demands to be felt. There's a famous line from the book The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, that's the thing about pain. It demands to be felt. Unfelt pain becomes anxiety, depression, anger, isolation, emotional shutdown, overreactions. Physical sickness. Your pain is not your enemy. It is a messenger. It is trying to tell you something. There's a wound here that needs healing. A truth that needs honoring. A feeling that needs releasing. When you finally sit with it, not to judge it, not to fix it, but to feel it, you start to take back your power. Sitting with pain, what it looks like. Let's be clear, sitting with pain doesn't mean wallowing in self-pity. It doesn't mean staying stuck in sadness. It means allowing yourself the human right to feel what you feel. Here's what it might look like in practice. You take 10 minutes each morning to journal your true emotions. You sit in silence and breathe deeply when a painful memory surfaces, instead of reaching for your phone. You say to yourself, yes, this hurts. And that's okay. You cry. Not once, but as often as needed. You listen to music that reflects your mood instead of forcing positivity. You give yourself permission to rest when the grief feels heavy. These are not signs of weakness. They are acts of courage. Because when you sit with pain, you are saying, I am no longer afraid of my truth. The emotions beneath the pain. When you sit with your pain, you may start to uncover layers. Grief over what was lost. Anger over what was done to you. Fear about what might happen again. Loneliness from carrying the pain silently. Shame from thinking it was your fault. Longing for a different ending. Each of these emotions holds wisdom. They are not problems to fix, but signals to listen to. You can talk to them. Yes, talk. Hello grief, I see you. You miss what could have been. Hi anger, I know you're protecting me. Hey fear, I know you're trying to keep me safe, but I'm not in danger anymore. Treat your emotions like visitors, not invaders. They have something to teach you. And when you stop fighting them, they begin to soften. Your pain has a voice, let it speak. If your pain could talk, what would it say? Would it say, I was never seen. I was betrayed. I'm exhausted from pretending. I miss the person I used to be. I wish someone had protected me. I need someone to understand. Now ask yourself. Can I be the one who finally listens? You don't need someone else to validate your hurt. You can be the one who sees, hears, and holds your pain gently. You can be the one who says, you matter. I won't ignore you anymore. That's where healing begins. Silence isn't emptiness, it's sacred space. We live in a noisy world. So much so that silence often feels strange, even scary. But silence is healing. When you turn off the noise, your phone, the TV, the distractions, you make room for your inner self to speak. You begin to hear what you've been avoiding. The thoughts you don't say out loud. The memories you've buried. The needs you've neglected. Create a daily ritual of silence. 10 minutes in the morning or evening. A walk without music. Sitting under a tree. A slow shower with no rush. Let that silence become sacred. Let it hold you. Let it help you face the things you thought you couldn't handle. You'll be surprised how strong you actually are. Pain teaches what comfort cannot. We don't grow much in comfort. We grow in discomfort. In disruption. In the middle of the mess. Pain teaches what you truly value. Who is real in your life? Where your boundaries are needed. What wounds still need healing? How deeply you can love. How resilient you really are. Instead of asking, why am I feeling this, try asking, what is this trying to teach me? Even the darkest pain can carry light, if you're willing to sit long enough to see it. What happens when you stop running? Something powerful happens when you stop running from your pain. You begin to feel lighter. You cry freely, and it becomes cleansing, not shameful. You speak your truth more easily. You stop pretending, and start living. You connect more deeply with others. You begin to trust yourself again. When you stop running, you start healing. When you stop numbing, you start feeling. When you stop avoiding, you start becoming. And that's when your real life begins, not the life built around pain, but the one built from healing. Practical ways to sit with your pain. Here are a few healing practices you can try. 1. The Feel to Heal Journal. Each day, write the answers to these. What emotion am I feeling today? Where do I feel it in my body? What do I think it's trying to tell me? 2. Safe space check-ins. Find a place where you feel safe, your bed, a garden, a prayer room, your car. Use that space to let emotions rise without judgment. 3. Mindful breathing. When emotional waves come, breathe in deeply for 4 counts, hold for 4, and exhale for 6. Do this 3 times. It calms the nervous system and helps you stay present. 4. Name the emotion aloud. Say out loud, I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel lost. Naming the emotion reduces its intensity. 5. Cry, and let it be enough. Tears are not weakness. They are release. Healing. A natural detox for the soul. A whisper of hope. If you're reading this and your heart feels heavy, if you feel tired of carrying pain you can't explain, just pause. Place your hand on your chest. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And whisper to yourself. It's okay to feel this. I don't need to run. I don't need to hide. I am safe now. I can sit with this pain, because I'm strong enough to heal it. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not drowning. You are deepening. And with each moment of sitting with your truth, you are slowly setting yourself free. Chapter 7, The Role of Boundaries in Emotional Healing. Boundaries. A word that's often misunderstood, rarely taught, and yet crucial to anyone seeking real healing. When you're carrying emotional pain, especially from people who've hurt you, one of the most important steps in your healing journey is learning to set healthy boundaries. Not walls to keep the world out, but gates that protect your peace, time, energy, and heart. You see, pain doesn't just come from what happened to you. Sometimes it continues because of what you allow. When you constantly give beyond your limits, say yes when your soul says no, tolerate disrespect, or carry others' burdens while your own heart is bleeding, you are reinforcing your wounds. Boundaries are not selfish. They are not rude. They are necessary. They are how you teach the world how to treat you. They are how you reclaim your power. They are how you begin to let go of pain, not by controlling others, but by taking responsibility for what you allow in your life. What are boundaries, really? Boundaries are simply the limits you set around your time, energy, emotions, relationships, and values to protect your well-being. Think of boundaries as a fence with a gate. You decide what, and who, comes in or stays out. A pause button, you choose when to engage, respond, or disconnect. A voice that says, this is okay with me or this is not okay with me. Boundaries are not meant to hurt others. They are meant to protect you from further hurt. Why people struggle to set boundaries. If boundaries are so essential, why do many people struggle with them, especially those who are already wounded? Here's why. 1. Fear of rejection. You worry people won't like you if you say no. You fear being abandoned. So you say yes to everything, even when it hurts you. 2. Guilt. You feel selfish for prioritizing your own needs, especially if you're the strong one, the helper, or the peacemaker, in your relationships. 3. Low self-worth. When you don't believe you deserve respect or peace, you tolerate disrespect and chaos. You stay in toxic spaces, thinking it's the best you'll get. But here's the truth, you are allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to walk away from what wounds you. You are allowed to choose healing, even if others don't understand. Types of boundaries you need to heal. Let's explore the core types of boundaries that support emotional healing. 1. Emotional boundaries. These protect your feelings and your right to process your emotions without being judged, dismissed, or manipulated. Saying, "I don't feel comfortable sharing this with you right now." Refusing to engage in guilt-tripping or emotional blackmail. 2. Time boundaries. These protect how you spend your time and with whomever. Choosing not to attend every family event if it drains you. Saying, "I'm unavailable this weekend, I need time for myself." 3. Energy boundaries. These protect your mental and physical energy. Not picking up calls from people who always complain or dump their problems on you. Ending conversations that leave you emotionally exhausted. 4. Physical boundaries. These protect your body and personal space. Not allowing unwanted touch or visits. Saying no to things that compromise your health and safety. 5. Digital boundaries. These protect your peace online. Muting or unfollowing people who trigger your anxiety. Taking social media breaks to rest your mind. How pain is tied to broken boundaries. Much of the pain we carry comes from times when our boundaries were violated, ignored, or never said at all. Maybe you trusted someone who took advantage of you. Maybe you gave everything to someone who gave you nothing in return. Maybe you tolerated toxic behavior, thinking you were being patient, loving, or forgiving. But without boundaries, pain repeats. The same patterns, different faces. To break the cycle, you must draw the line. And drawing that line is an act of self-respect. What healthy boundaries sound like. Here are some powerful phrases that help establish boundaries in real life. No, thank you. I need time to think about that. I'm not available right now. I'd prefer not to discuss this. This conversation is making me uncomfortable. I don't have the capacity to help right now. That doesn't work for me. You don't owe long explanations. You don't need to over-justify. Your feelings are reason enough. Boundaries in family relationships. Setting boundaries with family can be the most difficult. Why? Because of cultural expectations, emotional attachment, and fear of disrespect. But even family can be a source of pain, and your healing matters more than pleasing everyone. You are allowed to say no to conversations that are hurtful. Choose what topics you share with certain relatives. Refuse to be the fixer or rescuer. Create space when someone is emotionally abusive. Loving family doesn't mean losing yourself for them. It means showing up with honesty, care, and also with limits. Boundaries in romantic relationships. Love without boundaries becomes attachment. An attachment without respect becomes control. It doesn't guilt you into silence. In romantic relationships, you are allowed to say, "I need time to process before we talk. Please don't speak to me in that tone. I'm not comfortable with that. I love you, but I need space." If someone truly loves you, they won't be afraid of your boundaries. They will respect them. And if they don't, that's not love, it's emotional manipulation. How to set a boundary without fear. Step 1. Get clear on what hurts. Ask yourself, what do I keep saying yes to that leaves me drained? Who makes me feel small, anxious, or unworthy? What pattern keeps repeating because I've been afraid to speak up? Step 2. Decide what you need. Be honest. Do you need space? Rest? Respect? A break from someone? Less drama? More honesty? Name the need. Step 3. Speak it calmly and firmly. You can be kind and direct. I've realized I need to protect my emotional health, so I won't be available for this kind of conversation anymore. Step 4. Expect discomfort. Some people won't like the new, boundary setting you. That's okay. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. Stay consistent. Boundaries teach people who you are and how you want to be treated. Healing through boundaries, a story of Amaka. For years Amaka was the strong one in her family. Always giving. Always fixing. Always available. She never said no, because she thought saying no meant she didn't care. But deep down, she was exhausted. Angry. Resentful. One day, she collapsed, mentally and emotionally. That was her wake-up call. She started setting boundaries. She said no to draining family members. She stopped attending every event. She took weekends for herself. At first, people got upset. Called her selfish. Cold. But she kept going. And slowly, she found peace again. She began to smile for real. She found joy in silence. She found power in protecting her peace. Amaka's healing didn't come through a therapist or miracle. It came through boundaries. A boundary is a bridge. Not a barrier. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They're about building healthier ways to stay connected, without losing yourself. They are a bridge from resentment to respect. Chaos to clarity. Burnout to balance. When you set boundaries, you're saying, I love me enough to honor what I need. And that is how you let go of pain, by refusing to stay in environments that keep wounding you. Affirmations to strengthen your boundaries. Speak these aloud or write them daily. I am allowed to protect my peace. Saying no is not mean, it's mature. I do not have to explain my boundaries. People who truly care about me will respect my limits. I choose myself, not to hurt others, but to heal me. My healing matters more than their approval. Your healing deserves protection. You've worked hard to start healing. Don't let guilt drag you back into what broke you. Your peace is sacred. Your time is sacred. Your soul is sacred. And setting boundaries is how you guard what you're rebuilding. Protect it. Stand tall in it. And remember, every time you say, this is what I need, you're choosing freedom. Chapter 8, Healing doesn't mean forgetting, it means changing the meaning. There's a myth that to truly heal, you must forget. Forget the betrayal. Forget the abandonment. Forget the trauma. Forget the heartache. Forget the people who made you feel small. Forget the moments that broke you. But that's not true healing. True healing doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means remembering without breaking. It means feeling the memory without reliving the trauma. It means changing the meaning of your pain, so that it empowers you, rather than imprisons you. Because let's face it, some wounds are unforgettable. But the meaning you attach to those wounds, that can change. And that is the beginning of real freedom. Why we try to forget. When you've experienced deep pain, your natural instinct is to forget it as quickly as possible. You might bury it under work or activity. Smile and pretend it never happened. Shut it out of your memory completely. You do this because the memory is too much. Too raw. Too painful. Too heavy. But the problem is, what you try to forget without healing will return to you in ways you don't expect. It will come back through triggers, nightmares, relationship patterns, emotional numbness, physical illness, sudden breakdowns. Pain that is repressed doesn't die, it just finds new ways to speak. So the goal isn't to forget. The goal is to understand, reprocess, and reframe, so the pain no longer controls your present or shapes your identity. Let's take a closer look. A painful event happens in your life. That event becomes a memory. But here's where it gets deeper. It's not the memory itself that causes the most damage. It's the meaning you attach to the memory. For example, memory, my father left when I was 6. Meaning, I must not be worth staying for. Memory, I was cheated on. Meaning, I'm not good enough. Memory, I failed my exam. Meaning, I'm a failure. Do you see the difference? The memory is just a fact. The meaning is a belief, and beliefs shape how you live, love, trust, and see yourself. If you want to heal, you must revisit the memory, not to erase it, but to rewrite the meaning. Changing the meaning, how to begin? You might be wondering, how do I change the meaning of something that hurt me so deeply? The process isn't always easy, but it's deeply liberating. Here's a step-by-step way to begin. 1. Revisit the memory with compassion. Sit with the memory, without judgment. You're not there to relive it. You're there to listen. To hold space for the part of you that got hurt. Ask yourself. What happened? What did I feel? What did I need at that moment that I didn't receive? 2. Identify the meaning you attached to it. This is usually the belief that still hurts you today. Ask, what did I begin to believe about myself because of this? What story did I start to tell myself from this? 3. Ask, was that belief true? Often, the meaning we attach to pain is based on lies we accepted in our most vulnerable state. You can ask, is it true that I'm not worthy? Was it really my fault? Do I still need to carry this belief? Begin to challenge the meaning you created. 4. Reframe the memory. Now that you've seen the false meaning, create a new, empowering one. Yes, they left, but I now know how to love myself better. Yes, I was hurt, but I'm stronger, wiser, and no longer afraid to speak up. Yes, I failed, but that was a stepping stone, not the end. This is not about denying the pain. It's about elevating the purpose. You can honor the pain without living in it. Some people think, if I stop feeling this pain, I'm letting them off the hook. Or, if I let go of the sadness, maybe it means it didn't matter. But the truth is, healing doesn't erase the importance of what happened. It honors it in a new way. You can remember without reopening the wound. You can say, that broke me back then, but it no longer defines me. I used to cry over that, but now, I walk with wisdom. I carry the lesson, not the weight. And that's the beauty of healing. You still remember, but differently. Pain transformed becomes power. Some of the most powerful people in the world carry scars. Not because they were never hurt, but because they transformed their pain. Their stories became books, music, art, counseling centers, safe spaces, encouraging words, ministries, movements. You don't have to become famous to transform your pain. You just have to live differently. You just have to show up with love, joy, and strength that says, yes, I've been hurt. But I'm still here. And I'm better because of it. That's power. Healing doesn't erase your past, it redeems it. When you shift from surviving to healing, something beautiful happens. You stop wanting to erase your past, and you begin to reclaim it. You begin to say, I'm not ashamed of my story. Everything I went through made me who I am. Even in my lowest moments, I was becoming. It takes courage to reach this point. But it's possible. And when you get there, the past loses its sting. You don't need to forget it. You just stop hurting from it. You remember with gratitude, not grief. You speak about it with clarity, not confusion. You carry it with strength, not sorrow. A healing exercise, rewriting the meaning. Take a quiet moment to reflect. Choose one painful memory that still haunts you. Step 1, write down the memory as honestly as you can. Step 2, write the old meaning you've attached to it. Step 3, write a new, truthful, and empowering meaning. Memory, I was humiliated in front of the class when I failed a presentation. Old meaning, I'm not smart. I'll always be a failure. New meaning, I was scared and unprepared, but now I know I can learn, improve, and grow. That moment doesn't define my intelligence. Do this often. With time, you'll see your story changing. And your heart healing. Letting go is remembering differently. To let go of the pain, you don't need to forget what happened. You need to remember it differently. From a place of growth instead of guilt. Power instead of pity. Clarity instead of confusion. Peace instead of panic. Your mind may never erase the memory. But your heart can change what it means. And in that shift, you begin to heal. Daily affirmations for changing the meaning. Say these to yourself daily. My past does not define my future. I remember what happened, but I am not what happened. I am allowed to grow beyond the pain. I am healing the meaning behind my memories. I choose a new story, one filled with purpose, not pity. You get to choose how the story ends. Maybe you didn't get to choose how the story began. Maybe you didn't choose the betrayal. Maybe you didn't choose the abandonment. Maybe you didn't choose the trauma. But now, you get to choose what happens next. You get to choose how you rise. You get to choose how you love again. You get to choose what you believe about yourself. You get to choose the meaning. And that is what true healing looks like. Chapter 9: The Importance of a Support System in Healing. Healing is personal, but it is not meant to be lonely. There is a kind of strength that comes from sitting quietly with your pain, from journaling through tears, from rising alone each morning and choosing not to give up. But there is also a kind of strength that comes from letting someone in. From saying, I can't carry this alone anymore. From allowing others to walk beside you, not to fix you, but to hold space for your healing. Because no matter how strong you are, you were never created to heal in isolation. Pain isolates. It whispers, no one will understand. Healing, however, brings connection. It whispers back, let someone in. In this chapter, we will explore how a healthy support system, be it a friend, mentor, therapist, community, or even a kind stranger, can make the journey to healing lighter, safer, and more complete. You weren't meant to heal alone. There's a reason why babies cry when they're not held. There's a reason why hugs feel healing. There's a reason why we crave someone to say, I understand. We are wired for connection. When we're hurt, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, our natural tendency might be to retreat. To protect ourselves. To become islands. But deep inside every hurting soul is the quiet desire for someone to hear us without judging. Stay with us without fixing. Believe in us when we don't believe in ourselves. You don't need an army. Sometimes just one person who sees you, truly sees you, can make the difference between staying stuck in pain or moving toward healing. Why isolation feels safer, but isn't. Many people who are hurting avoid community. Why? 1. Fear of being a burden. You think, everyone has their own problems. I don't want to add to theirs. 2. Fear of rejection or judgment. 3. Trust issues. If you've been betrayed, abandoned, or judged in the past, it's hard to believe people are safe. 4. Independence and pride. You've been taught to be strong. Vulnerability feels like defeat. But the truth is, isolation might feel safe, but it keeps the wound hidden, and what stays hidden rarely heals. It festers. Grows. Becomes heavier. Opening up isn't weakness. It's wisdom. It's saying, I love myself enough to let someone help me carry this. What a healthy support system looks like. Not everyone qualifies to walk with you in your healing journey. In fact, some people add to your pain. So, what should you look for in a support system? Safety. You feel emotionally safe being your full self, tears, fears, and all. Non-judgment. You are not shamed or ridiculed for your emotions or experiences. Consistency. They show up. They listen. They're present, even in silence. Boundaries. They don't try to fix you or take over your journey. They support, not control. Empathy. They don't always have the answers, but they're willing to feel with you. Encouragement. They remind you who you are, especially when you forget. It could be a friend, therapist, sibling, support group, church member, or even a kind mentor online. What matters is that they honor your healing journey. Different forms of support, you can choose more than one. 1. Therapists and counselors. Professionally trained to guide you through trauma, emotions, and personal growth. They offer tools, not judgment. 2. Faith-based support. Pastors, spiritual mentors, or prayer groups who can walk with you through healing from a faith perspective. 3. Friends who listen. That one person you can message at midnight and say, "I'm not okay," and they'll reply, "I'm here." 4. Online communities. Safe digital spaces, Facebook groups, forums, apps, where people share similar experiences. 5. Support groups. In-person or virtual gatherings of people going through similar issues. Grief, addiction recovery, trauma, divorce, anxiety. You don't have to choose just one. Healing is layered. Sometimes you need a friend and a therapist. A prayer partner and a coach. How to open up when you've been hurt. Opening up is scary, especially when trust has been broken before. Here's how to do it gently. Start small. You don't have to pour out everything at once. Share a little. Test the waters. Choose safe people. Look for people who've shown consistency, discretion, and emotional maturity. Speak your needs. Say things like, "I just need someone to listen. I'm not looking for advice, just presence. Can I share something heavy with you?" Allow yourself to receive. Don't brush off help. Don't say, "I'm fine," when you're not. Let yourself be supported. You are not a burden. You are a human being, worthy of love, care, and compassion. What to do if you don't have a support system yet? Sometimes, the hardest part is feeling like there's no one to turn to. If that's you, please don't give up. Try this. 1. Seek out new spaces. Join a class. Volunteer. Attend a local support group. Be open to new friendships. 2. Go online, wisely. There are many online support groups for emotional healing, grief, anxiety, and trauma. Find one that feels safe and moderated. 3. Consider therapy. There's no shame in needing professional support. Therapists are trained to walk with you through your toughest moments. 4. Pray or meditate for guidance. If you're spiritual, ask for divine help in bringing the right people into your life. 5. Be the friend you're looking for. Sometimes, by showing up for others in small ways, you begin to draw connection and kindness into your own life. Support can come in unexpected ways. Stay open. Stay hopeful. The power of support. Titi's story, the friend who stayed. Titi struggled with depression after her divorce. Every morning felt heavy. One friend, Ada, would text daily, "Have you eaten today?" That question may have seemed simple, but it saved her life. That daily reminder, "Someone sees me," gave Titi the strength to keep going. You don't have to walk alone. And there's no shame in needing help. Healing is a shared journey. Think of your healing like climbing a mountain. You may walk alone for some stretches, but at key moments, someone hands you water. Someone holds your rope. Someone whispers, "Don't give up." Support doesn't always look like dramatic interventions. Sometimes it's a hand on your shoulder. A kind word. A shared silence. A message that says, "You crossed my mind today." These moments remind you that you are seen. That you matter. And that you are never truly alone. Let others in without losing yourself. Letting people in doesn't mean you lose your boundaries. It means you create healthy connection. Remember, you can be vulnerable and still strong. You can ask for help and still be independent. You can trust again, slowly, wisely, and with time. And when you find the right people, healing happens in unexpected ways. Laughter returns. Joy feels possible. The heavy silence begins to break. You begin to belong again. Affirmations for accepting support. Speak these daily: it's okay to need help. I don't have to carry everything alone. Asking for support is a sign of strength, not weakness. I attract relationships that are safe, kind, and nurturing. I am worthy of love and understanding. Your people are out there. If you haven't found your people yet, keep believing. Keep reaching. Keep healing. You are not invisible. Your voice matters. Your heart deserves care. And the support you need may be closer than you think. Let them in. You don't have to heal alone. You were never meant to. Chapter 10: Choosing Forgiveness as a Gift to Yourself. Forgiveness. Just the word can stir up a storm of emotions. For some, it feels noble. For others, impossible. Maybe even unfair. Why should I forgive the one who broke me? Don't they deserve to suffer too? Forgiving them feels like letting them off the hook. These questions are real, and they matter. Especially when the wounds are deep and still bleeding. But here's the truth: forgiveness is not for them. It's for you. It is the key to unlock your own freedom. It is the medicine that heals the infection of anger, bitterness, resentment, and shame. It is not saying, "What you did was okay." It is saying, "I choose not to carry your weights." In this chapter, we'll break the myths about forgiveness, understand what it truly means, and learn how choosing it, even when it feels hard, is one of the most powerful steps in letting go of pain. What forgiveness is not. Let's clear up some common misunderstandings. Forgiveness is not forgetting. You don't need to erase the memory to move on. You simply remove its power to poison your present. Forgiveness is not pretending it didn't hurt. It did. It was wrong. It may have broken you. Forgiveness doesn't minimize the pain, it acknowledges it, then releases it. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. You can forgive someone without ever allowing them back into your life. Forgiveness is about your heart, not their access. Forgiveness is not weakness. It takes courage to release resentment. It's not a passive act, it's an act of bold self-respect. Why forgiveness is necessary for healing. When someone hurts you and you hold on to the pain, it becomes a wound that stays open. Every time you remember what they did, the hurt is relived. But when you choose to forgive, you free your heart from resentment. Stop reliving the pain. Break the emotional hold that person has over you. Clear space for peace, joy, and emotional growth. Bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It doesn't destroy them, it destroys you. But forgiveness? It says, "I've carried this long enough. I choose peace over punishment. I choose freedom over fury. I choose to let go." The pain beneath the unforgiveness. If you're struggling to forgive, it's often because of what's underneath the anger. Here's what might really be going on. Betrayal: I trusted them, and they threw me away. Rejection: they made me feel unworthy. Abandonment: they left when I needed them most. Violation: they crossed a line that should have never been crossed. Humiliation: they made me feel small, foolish, or weak. Your unforgiveness may be protecting a wound. But the longer you hold on to it, the longer that wound stays unhealed. Forgiveness helps treat the wound, not by pretending it doesn't exist, but by refusing to let it rule your life. You deserve peace, not their punishment. Many people think if they don't forgive, the other person will suffer. But here's the truth. Most of the people who hurt you aren't losing sleep over it. Some don't know they hurt you. Some knew and didn't care. Some are no longer alive. So who's suffering? You. You are the one. Replaying the hurt. Avoiding certain places or people. Carrying tension in your body. Holding back from new relationships. Struggling to trust. You deserve better than that. You deserve peace. Let forgiveness be your gift to yourself, the moment you say, "You don't get to control my joy anymore." Forgiveness is a process, not a one-time decision. Forgiveness is not always instant. Especially when the pain is deep. You may need to forgive the same person more than once. That doesn't mean you're failing, it means you're human. It's okay to forgive slowly. Forgive in layers. Forgive with tears and trembling. Give yourself permission to move at your own pace. Healing is not a race, it's a journey. Steps to begin forgiving. Step 1, acknowledge the pain. Don't rush to forgive without first feeling the hurt. Say the truth, "That broke me. That wasn't okay." Step 2, identify what was lost. What did their action cost you? Trust? Safety? Self-worth? Be honest about what you're grieving. Step 3, decide what you want to let go. You may not be ready to let go of everything at once. Start with what you can release. Anger, blame, shame, expectations. Step 4, say it aloud, or write it. Example, "I forgive you, not because you deserve it, but because I deserve peace. I release the need for revenge. I release the pain to God. I am free." You don't need to say it to their face. This is for you. Step 5, repeat as needed. Forgiveness isn't a one-time magic trick. It's like peeling an onion. Each time you repeat the choice to forgive, the pain loses its grip. What if the person never apologizes? Forgive anyway. Why? Because your healing shouldn't depend on someone else's maturity. Some people will never admit what they did. Some people will twist the story to protect themselves. Some people may never change. But you can. You can rise. You can be free. You can stop waiting for an apology that may never come, and give yourself the closure. Forgiveness doesn't mean trusting again. You can forgive and still say, "I won't allow you to hurt me again. I've outgrown this relationship. I need distance for my peace." Forgiveness cleans the wound. Boundaries protect it from reopening. Forgiveness says, "I release the bitterness." Boundaries say, "But I remember the lesson." You are allowed to forgive and move on. Forgiving yourself. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself. Maybe you blame yourself for staying too long. Regret something you did or didn't do. Feel ashamed of how you coped with the pain. Self-forgiveness is just as important. Say to yourself, "I did the best I could with what I knew. I made mistakes, but I'm learning. I am allowed to grow. I am worthy of grace." You don't need to be perfect to heal. You just need to be willing. Stories of forgiveness. Chinyer's story, forgiving the absent father. Chinyer grew up angry at a father who left and never came back. The pain was like poison in every relationship. One day, she wrote a letter, not to send, but to release. "I forgive you," she wrote. "Not because you earned it, but because I'm done letting you shape who I become." That day, she felt lighter. Not because the pain vanished, but because the bitterness did. Daily forgiveness affirmations. Repeat these aloud or write them in your journal. I release the grip of the past on my present. I forgive because I deserve peace. I am not what was done to me, I am who I choose to become. I let go of resentment and welcome healing. Every day, I grow stronger by releasing pain. Forgiveness sets you free. Forgiveness doesn't change what happened. But it changes you. It changes the weight you carry. It changes the energy in your heart. It opens doors to joy, connection, and peace that bitterness could never offer. Let today be the day you whisper to your soul, "We're done holding on to this. We're ready for freedom. We forgive, for us." And then, walk lighter. Because forgiveness is not weakness. It's power. Chapter 11, Rebuilding Your Life After the Pain. Pain can break you. Loss, betrayal, trauma. They can tear down the life you once knew, leaving you in ruins, wondering how to begin again. And the truth is, after a storm, nothing looks the same. You can't go back to who you were before. You've changed. You've seen too much. You've felt too deeply. You've been reshaped. But that doesn't mean it's over. In fact, this is where a new life begins. Rebuilding after pain isn't about putting everything back the way it was. It's about creating something new, something stronger, something truer to who you are now. It's about rising, brick by brick, from the ashes. Not in a rush. Not to impress. Not to escape the pain. But to honor the journey. To reclaim joy. To live again, with purpose and peace. This chapter is your roadmap for that sacred, brave work. You are not starting from scratch, you are starting from experience. It may feel like you've lost everything. But you haven't. You have wisdom now. You have clarity. You have strength you never knew existed. You have lessons etched in your bones. You may be starting over, but you're not starting empty. You're starting with the most valuable thing of all, self-awareness. And that's a solid foundation to build on. Step 1, reconnect with yourself. When pain hits, we often disconnect from ourselves. We become numb, distant, survival-focused. We forget who we are. So, the first step in rebuilding is not doing, but remembering. Ask yourself, who was I before the pain? Who am I now? What do I still believe in? What parts of me have I lost, and want to reclaim? Spend time alone. Not in isolation, but in intentional self-reflection. Try journaling your thoughts each morning. Sitting in silence and listening to your heart. Reconnecting with childhood joys, drawing, dancing, music. Asking yourself daily, what do I need today? You're not just healing your wounds, you're rediscovering your soul. Step 2, redefine what matters. Pain often changes your priorities. What used to matter may feel small now. And what you ignored before may now seem sacred. This is your chance to redefine your life on your terms. Reflect on, what kind of relationships do I want moving forward? What values do I want to live by? What brings me peace? Purpose? Joy? What am I no longer willing to tolerate? Make a list of your non-negotiables, things you will no longer compromise on. Let your pain teach you what really matters. Step 3, create a vision for the life you want. You've spent so long surviving, you may have forgotten how to dream. Now is the time to dream again. Not big, loud, showy dreams, but meaningful ones. Picture the life you want to build now. Not the life others expect. Not the life you lost. Your new life. Your true life. Ask, what kind of person do I want to become? What kind of peace do I want to feel? Where do I want to go? What kind of impact do I want to make? Write it down. Speak it out loud. Let your heart whisper new possibilities. This vision will become your compass as you rebuild. Step 4, set gentle, realistic goals. Big life changes can feel overwhelming. So start small. Set goals that are both healing and motivating. Examples, I will wake up by 8 a.m. every day this week. I will take a 15-minute walk in nature. I will call one friend and reconnect. I will read one inspiring book this month. Every small win builds confidence. Every step forward says, I am not stuck. I am building again. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Step 5, clear the rubble. Before you can build, you must clear the ruins. This means, letting go of toxic relationships. Releasing environments that drain you. Ending harmful habits that keep you numb. You can't build a healthy life on a shaky foundation. It's time to say goodbye to what no longer serves you. Yes, it will hurt. Yes, you may feel afraid. But remember, you cannot heal in the same environment that broke you. Clear the space, so new life can grow. Step 6, rebuild your routine. Pain disrupts your rhythm. Rebuilding means creating a new, life-giving routine that supports your healing. Start with morning practices, silence, prayer, journaling, stretching, sunlight. Midday practices, movement, nourishing meals, uplifting conversations. Evening practices, reflection, unplugging, gentle rest. Let your routine serve your soul. It doesn't have to be perfect, just consistent enough to remind you that you are alive and still worthy of care. Step 7, reconnect with joy. Joy may feel far away right now. But it's still there, waiting quietly beneath the pain. Joy is not always loud laughter or excitement. Sometimes joy is a warm cup of tea on a quiet morning. A kind word from a friend. The sound of rain on your window. A good book that makes you feel seen. Allow yourself to feel joy again, even in small doses. You are not betraying your pain by being happy. You are honoring your healing by letting light in again. Step 8, surround yourself with support. You don't have to rebuild alone. Let people help you. Let them remind you who you are. Reach out to a therapist or counselor. Friends who uplift and encourage. Faith-based support or spiritual mentors. Community spaces that nourish you. Healing in community is powerful. Let others pour into you while you refill your cup. Step 9, embrace new beginnings. Rebuilding after pain often comes with fresh starts. New relationships. New cities. New careers. New habits. New mindsets. Let yourself begin again. Not with fear, but with curiosity. You're not the same person you were before the pain. And that's a good thing. Now you get to create a life that aligns with who you're becoming, not who you used to be. Step 10, keep walking, even when it's hard. There will be days you feel strong, and days you want to quit. There will be setbacks, doubts, and moments of grief. That's normal. But don't stop. Every step matters. Even on the days you stumble, you're still moving forward. Even tears are part of rebuilding, they water the ground you'll soon bloom from. Real-life inspiration. After the storm. Boza's story, rebuilding after betrayal. Boz lost her business and her husband in the same year. The pain crushed her. But slowly, she began to write again. She joined a women's business group. She learned to laugh. 3 years later, she launched a new company and mentored others through their pain. She says, "The betrayal broke me, but it also gave me a new mission." Affirmations for rebuilding your life. Say these to yourself often: I am building a life that reflects my healing. I don't need to rush, each step is enough. I trust myself to rise. I deserve peace, joy, and a future I love. The best part of my story is still being written. You are a builder now. You've walked through fire and came out breathing. You've cried through nights and stood up anyway. You've faced pain, and now, you are rebuilding. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to keep laying bricks: hope, healing, boundaries, dreams, joy. And one day, you'll look back and realize. The pain didn't end your story. It rewrote it. And this new chapter. It's yours to create. Chapter 12, embracing your new identity after healing. Pain changes people. It doesn't just leave scars, it leaves marks of transformation. You don't come out of heartbreak, betrayal, grief, or trauma as the same person who walked in. You evolve. You grow. You become. But here's the thing, many people heal physically, emotionally, even spiritually, but never give themselves permission to embrace the new version of themselves. They still walk through life wearing the old labels. I'm the broken one. I'm the one who got left. I'm the one who failed. I'm the one who was hurt. Even after they've healed, they're still holding on to an identity shaped by pain. But you, dear reader, have come too far to stay in the shadows of who you used to be. This chapter is about reclaiming your new identity, not just as a survivor. It's time to stop apologizing for healing. And start celebrating the beautiful soul you're becoming. Who you were is not who you are. The version of you that existed in the past, before the pain, during the pain, is no longer in charge. You've grown. You've confronted your wounds. You've cried through the nights. You've questioned everything, fallen apart, stood back up, and learned to breathe again. Now, you carry new wisdom. You move differently. You speak with more intention. You love more consciously. So why keep wearing a label from a former life? You are allowed to change. You are allowed to outgrow your past. You are allowed to evolve. The fear of becoming someone new. Even when healing feels right, stepping into a new identity can feel scary. Why? Because the old you, no matter how broken, was familiar. The new you? That's uncharted territory. You might fear, what if people don't accept the new me? What if I lose relationships that were built on the old version of me? What if I don't even recognize myself anymore? Here's the truth, if you're afraid to become your healed self, it's probably because that version of you holds power. And power often intimidates, even you. But you must remember, you did not come this far just to play small again. Healing gave you wings. Now it's time to fly. Signs you're stepping into a new identity. You may not even realize it, but healing has been shaping you into someone new. Here are some signs you're evolving. You say no without guilt. You rest without feeling lazy. You walk away from drama instead of trying to fix it. You're more honest about your needs. You don't tolerate emotional games. You choose peace over chaos, even if it's lonely at first. You feel less afraid to be seen as your true self. This is what it looks like to walk in your new identity. Not flashy. Not perfect. Just aligned, authentic, and whole. Letting go of old labels and roles. Your old identity may have been shaped by what others called you. What you thought you had to be. Roles you played to survive. Maybe you were the people pleaser. The silent one. The fixer. The strong one who never cried. The one who held everyone else together. But now, those roles no longer fit. You're not here to play outdated characters. You're here to live as the real you. So ask, what labels am I still carrying that no longer belong to me? What stories about myself do I need to rewrite? Who am I becoming, and how can I honor that? Then, let the old labels go. You are not who hurt you. You are not who left you. You are not who you had to become just to survive. You are you, rising. Creating a new self-definition. One of the most powerful acts of healing is choosing how you see yourself moving forward. This is your chance to define your new identity. Let it be rooted in truth, who you really are, not who people said you were. Freedom, you are no longer tied to the past. Peace, you walk gently, with no need to prove yourself. Joy, you allow yourself to feel again. Courage, you show up, even when it's hard. Write your new self-definition. Example, I am a woman who has risen from heartbreak and learned how to love herself fully. I speak truth. I walk in peace. I no longer settle. I am worthy of joy. Or, I am a man who forgave his past and built a future from the ground up. I lead with love. I guard my peace. I am no longer afraid to be vulnerable. This is who you are now. Say it. Own it. Walk in it. Building a life that reflects the new you. Once you embrace your new identity, your lifestyle must begin to reflect it too. Ask, what habits support the new me? What kind of people belong in my life now? What environments nourish my growth? What dreams align with who I am becoming? Start making choices that match your new identity. This might mean leaving toxic spaces. Saying yes to scary but fulfilling opportunities. Speaking up in places you used to shrink. Dressing, walking, or carrying yourself with more confidence. The world around you should begin to match the peace within you. Give yourself grace in the becoming. You're still human. You'll still have doubts. You'll still face days when the old identity creeps back in and whispers. You haven't really changed. You're still the same broken person. Don't listen. Growth isn't linear. Some days you'll feel powerful. Some days, unsure. But keep walking. Keep choosing your healing. Give yourself grace in the process. You're becoming someone you've never been before. That takes time and tenderness. Let go of who you had to be to survive. Sometimes, we build an identity around survival. The tough girl who never shows emotion. The joker who laughs to hide the pain. The perfectionist who's always in control. But now, you're safe. You don't need those masks anymore. You don't need to shrink. Or please. Or overachieve to feel worthy. Let go of who you had to be. Be who you really are. You are safe to be soft now. You are allowed to be whole. You are free to just be. Stories of new identity after healing. Tun's story, from people pleaser to purpose driven. Tun always said yes, to avoid conflict. But it drained him. After therapy, he began saying no. At first, it felt scary. But as he embraced boundaries, his confidence grew. He found peace in solitude. He built new friendships based on honesty. He says, I no longer live to please. I live to be real. Daily affirmations for embracing the new you. Speak these with conviction. I give myself permission to change. I am not who I was, I am who I choose to become. I embrace my growth and honor my transformation. I walk in my truth with peace and confidence. I release shame and step into purpose. Let the world meet the new you. You've spent so much time healing in private. Now it's time to live in public, with the wholeness you've fought for. Let the world meet the real you. The healed you. The softer you. The wiser you. The powerful you. Some people may not understand. That's okay. You're not here to be understood, you're here to be authentic. And as you live in truth, you'll attract the right people, the right opportunities, the right energy. You'll no longer bend to fit into old spaces. You'll create new ones, where your light can shine freely. Your new identity is a celebration, not a secret. This is not the time to hide. It's the time to honor the journey you've walked. Every tear, every ache, every quiet night of choosing to rise, it brought you here. Now, with your head high and heart open, you get to say, this is me now. And I love who I'm becoming. You didn't just survive the pain. You've evolved beyond it. And that is something to celebrate. Chapter 13, Living Free, Maintaining Emotional Freedom Every Day. Letting go of pain is not just a moment, it's a movement. Healing is not a one-time decision, it's a lifestyle. And freedom? It's not something you experience once and forget. It's something you protect, nurture, practice. You've come a long way. You've faced your pain. You've made peace with the past. You've forgiven. You've started to rebuild and step into a new identity. But now comes the real journey, staying free. Because the past will try to call you back. Old thoughts will try to sneak in. Old habits will try to resurface. But you don't have to go back. This chapter is about living as someone who has been through the fire, and made it out not just alive, but awake. It's about learning how to guard your peace, renew your mind, and stay emotionally free, every day. Healing is a daily choice. Every morning you wake up, you are given a choice. Will I carry the pain again today? Will I revisit old wounds? Will I let bitterness sneak back in? Or will I choose peace? Will I feed joy? Will I remind myself of how far I've come? Emotional freedom is not automatic. It is a daily decision to let go of what no longer serves you. Speak kindly to yourself. Walk in truth and not triggers. Say no to old patterns. Say yes to the new life you're building. Freedom isn't the absence of pain, it's the refusal to let it control you. Set daily emotional boundaries. One of the biggest threats to your emotional freedom is letting anything and anyone have access to your heart. You must learn to protect your peace like it's your most precious possession, because it is. Healthy emotional boundaries include saying no without explanation. Not answering every call or message. Refusing to explain your healing journey. Walking away from gossip and negative talk. Guarding your thoughts, because not every thought is yours. Ask yourself daily, what do I need to protect my peace today, and then honor the answer. Anchor yourself with morning practices. How you start your day matters. Begin each day intentionally, not by reaching for your phone, but by reaching inward. Try this simple morning routine. 1. Stillness, sit quietly for 5 to 10 minutes. Breathe. Listen to your soul. 2. Gratitude, list 3 things you're thankful for. 3. Affirmations, speak truth over yourself. Today, I choose peace. I am free from yesterday's pain. I welcome joy, love, and healing. 4. Movement, stretch. Walk. Dance. Breathe deeply. 5. Connection, pray, meditate, or reflect with purpose. These rituals ground you. They remind you that you're not a prisoner of your emotions. You are in charge now. Watch your inner dialogue. Your thoughts can either build you or break you. What you say to yourself matters more than what others say to you. Now that you're healing, your internal voice must reflect your freedom, not your wounds. Replace thoughts like, I'm still broken. I always mess up. I don't deserve happiness. With, I'm still growing, and that's okay. I am doing my best, and it's enough. I am worthy of joy, love, and peace. Train your mind to speak life. You've spent too long letting pain do the talking. Now, let healing have the microphone. Surround yourself with what aligns with your freedom. Look around at your life. Ask yourself, who am I spending time with? What am I watching, reading, listening to? What environments am I choosing? Because everything you allow in will either feed your freedom or threaten it. Choose friends who honor your healing. Consume content that uplifts, not triggers. Enter spaces that encourage peace, not chaos. This is your new normal now, guard it with everything you've got. Practice emotional awareness. Freedom is not ignoring emotions, it's understanding them. Every day, check in with yourself. What am I feeling? Where is this coming from? What do I need right now? Let emotions visit, but don't let them move in. Be the observer of your feelings, not their prisoner. This gives you power over your triggers, reactions, and responses. Make rest and joy a priority. In a world that glorifies hustle and burnout, choose peace. Rest is not laziness. Joy is not indulgent. Both are essential to emotional health. Daily joy can be found in a slow walk at sunset, laughing with a loved one, listening to music that makes your soul dance, eating mindfully and being present, watching the rain fall with a cup of tea. Freedom feels like breathing without heaviness. So breathe deeply, and live lightly. Let go again, as often as needed. Sometimes, pain comes back. Something triggers a memory. An old fear returns. You feel anxious for no reason. Don't panic. Just let go again. Let go as many times as you need to. Healing isn't something you check off a list. It's a rhythm. A way of life. Each time pain tries to revisit, gently remind it, we're not going there today. We've chosen freedom. You have permission to let go again, and again, and again. Revisit your purpose often. When you forget why you're healing, it's easy to fall back into old habits. So ask yourself often, why did I begin this journey? Who am I becoming? What kind of life am I creating? Write your answers. Speak them out loud. Let your why keep you grounded. Because the freedom you've worked for is not just about feeling better, it's about becoming your best self. Celebrate how far you've come. You may not be where you want to be yet. But you are not where you used to be. That matters. You've cried and kept going. You've doubted and still chosen growth. You've shown up for yourself again and again. So celebrate the habits you've changed. The thoughts you've challenged. The peace you've chosen. The days you didn't give up. Celebrating progress strengthens your motivation to stay free. You're not just surviving anymore. You're living. Freedom is the new you. You are no longer bound by your past. You are no longer shaped by pain. You are no longer afraid of your feelings. You are no longer controlled by the people who hurt you. You are empowered, whole, light, free. And every day, you get to choose to live like it. Real-life testimonies, life after letting go. Zainab's story, living in joy after grief. Zainab lost her child unexpectedly. For years, she lived in darkness. But slowly, she let go, not of the memory, but of the pain. She started a foundation in her child's name. Today, she says, grief still visits me, but it doesn't rule me. I choose joy for both of us. Affirmations for living free. Repeat these every morning. Today, I choose peace over pain. My past has no power over me. I release fear and welcome joy. I protect my freedom by protecting my mind. I am free, and I live like it. This is just the beginning. You've come to the final chapter. But your story? It's just beginning. You are not the pain. You are the person who faced the pain, and walked out stronger. You are not broken. You are rebuilt. Stronger. Softer. Smarter. Kinder. Wiser. Braver. And now, you are free. So go live. Not in fear. Not in shame. But in full, radiant, joyful freedom. You deserve it. You've earned it. Now, protect it. Every single day. Chapter 14, The Beauty After the Pain, Living a Life of Purpose, Peace, and Power. There comes a time when healing is no longer about survival. It's not about managing the pain, escaping the past, or putting pieces back together anymore. It becomes about living. Living with purpose. Living in peace. Living in full power. Because there's a kind of beauty that only comes after pain. A deep, radiant beauty that isn't loud or flashy, but real. Quiet. Whole. It's in your smile that no longer hides sadness. It's in the way your voice no longer trembles. It's in your laughter that flows freely, unapologetically. It's in your eyes, where the fire of pain once burned, now replaced with light. This chapter is a celebration. A tribute to your journey. A reminder that you didn't go through all of this just to live small or safe. You are not just healed, you are reborn. And your new life is not just about avoiding pain, it's about embracing beauty. From pain to purpose. Pain doesn't just break people. It reveals them. It purifies. It calls out a depth you never knew you had. The very thing that tried to crush you might have planted the seeds of your purpose. Ask yourself. What has my pain taught me? What did I survive that others are still struggling with? What strengths did I develop because of what I went through? How can I use my journey to help others? Your purpose may be born from your pain. Not because you owe the world your suffering, but because you've been equipped through it. The scars that once shamed you can now guide others home. You are a carrier of hope now. Your life is a testimony. Not a perfect one, but a powerful one. You don't have to be a speaker, a writer, or a counselor to make an impact. Sometimes, just by showing up, calm, grounded, kind, you remind someone else that healing is possible. Your story becomes a mirror, a roadmap, a light. There is someone, somewhere, watching you and thinking. If they made it through, maybe I can too. Never underestimate the power of your quiet strength. You are now a carrier of hope. Living in peace, not pressure. Now that you're no longer surviving, you may feel pressure to make up for lost time. To be productive. To succeed. To prove something. But remember this, you don't have to perform to prove you've healed. Peace is not measured by your output. Peace is measured by your presence. Can you sit with yourself and feel at home? Can you move slowly without guilt? Can you enjoy a day without fixing anything? This is freedom too. You don't owe anyone a performance. You owe yourself peace. Live gently now. Walking in power without hardness. Sometimes, we equate strength with hardness. But real power is not in how loud you shout or how well you hide your emotions. True power is, staying soft in a hard world. Choosing love when you could choose bitterness. Saying no with calm authority. Walking away without cursing. Forgiving without forgetting who you are. You can be powerful and peaceful. You can be bold and kind. You can protect your space without building walls. Let your power be rooted in grace, not just grit. Creating a life that feels like home. What does a life of emotional freedom look like? It looks like waking up without dread. Smiling without faking. Saying, I love you, and meaning it. Saying, I need space, without guilt. Spending time with people who see your soul. Doing work that aligns with your values. Resting without shame. Laughing for no reason. Trusting yourself again. This is your new goal, not just to exist, but to live in a life that feels like home. You deserve it. And now, you have the tools to build it. Protecting the beauty you've gained. The world won't always understand your peace. People may still try to trigger, provoke, or pull you back into the chaos. That's okay. Limit what you expose your spirit to: news, gossip, drama. Remember, protecting your peace is self-respect. You don't have to keep revisiting the pain. Some people become addicted to pain. They replay the hurt. They rehearse the betrayal. They reopen old wounds even after they've closed. But you, dear soul, are free now. You don't have to revisit what you've already released. You've learned the lesson. You've honored the journey. Now you can leave it behind, with gratitude. It's not denial. It's direction. You're no longer walking in circles. You're walking forward. Let love in again. Healing makes space for love. And now that the pain isn't taking up all the room in your heart, you're free to love again. Love deeply. Love slowly. Love carefully. Love yourself first. Then, let others love the real, unmasked, unafraid version of you. Yes, it's risky. Yes, you might get hurt. But love is not weakness. Love is proof that you've healed. Let love be your new language. Remember who you are now. Don't forget the version of you who fought through the darkness. Chose forgiveness over revenge. Spoke kindly to yourself when no one else did. Set boundaries for the first time. Gave up comfort for growth. Showed up scared but still showed up. You are that person. Powerful. Brave. Beautiful. And no matter what life brings, you are no longer the same. You've been through the valley. Now you're walking in the light. Own it. Pass the light on. Healing is not just about you. It's about what you carry forward. Pass the light on. Be kind to strangers, you don't know their battle. Encourage those who are still hurting. Be patient with others' healing journeys. Share your story when it's safe to do so. Remind others, you are not alone. It does get better. When you pass on the light, you multiply it. You become part of someone else's healing story. And in doing so, you honor your own. The final message for you, you made it. You made it through what tried to break you. You let go of what weighed you down. You took the hard road, not the easy one. You chose healing over hiding. You chose forgiveness over fury. You chose to grow. And now, you are free. So walk boldly. Smile widely. Live fully. And never forget. There is beauty after the pain. There is life after loss. There is joy after grief. There is power after surrender. This is not the end. This is your new beginning. And it's going to be beautiful. Thanks for watching.